Do you see any of the real Diana in Meghan? Did
God,
you?
no.
Really?
No. Sorry.
What if the woman who claimed she just wanted privacy turned out to be the one chasing the spotlight harder than anyone in royal history?
Are there any fans of Meghan Markle in tonight? Oh, hang on! There is one lone hand has raised
Subversive.
up here. Actually, that is one more than I expected, I have to be honest.
Because just when Meghan Markle thought her past was buried, Piers Morgan walked in holding what he calls a hidden royal recording that could blow her entire narrative wide open.
It was when all the racism claims turned out to be bullshit. The mental health claims were all of it was bullshit. Designed to damage and attack the royal family, the monarchy, and all of it. And it made me puke.
And let's be honest, no one pushes Meghan's buttons quite like Piers.
We are uncensored, but oh my God, the idea there's any comparison between Diana, who was the biggest star in the world.
The man lives rent-free in her Montecito Mansion's guest house of nightmares. Within hours of his cryptic tweet, the internet went feral. Hashtags like Megxit Reloaded exploded across X. Memes mocked her calm yoga energy. Reaction channels lit up like Christmas trees. And somewhere in California, according to insiders, Meghan wasn't sipping green juice. She was losing it.
Why would promoting your kids on Instagram deter the paparazzi from coming and wanting to take pictures of your kids?
I don't know.
Because this wasn't just another tabloid rumor, it was a whisper from her pre-royal past, an alleged voice saying her plan was bigger than Harry. That single line was enough to send royal watchers, conspiracy junkies, and even her own PR team spiraling.
Let's not forget the Oprah performance.
Oh yeah.
What?
They did what? These people?
What?
There's a conversation with you,
with Harry,
about how dark your baby is going to be?
potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh, how dark your baby was going
It was
to be?
ridiculous.
And here's the wild part. Piers isn't backing down. He claims this is only the beginning. So buckle up, because the so-called Duchess of Privacy just got dragged back into the very spotlight she fought to escape, and this time, the cameras might not be so kind.
I don't want to be doing another bloody segment on Meghan Markle and Harry, right?
It started with a single post, no dramatic video, no interview, just one smug tweet from Piers Morgan that read like a royal grenade. Found something the palace didn't want aired, coming soon. Within minutes, timelines melted. Royal reporters scrambled for leads. Meghan's name shot back into trending territory, and Piers sat back, probably sipping tea with that trademark told you so smirk. Because let's face it, the man's made a full-time career out of poking the Duchess-shaped beehive. At first, people thought it was another jab, another attention stunt. But then, whispers spread that he'd uncovered unaired interview tapes, the kind supposedly buried by palace PR years ago. Suddenly, it wasn't gossip. It was potential dynamite. The royal fandom split in two. Half demanded receipts, the other half begged for the drop.
But the name of the movie is Close Personal Friends, and I thought, how ironic, Piers, because she has none of those. None.
Meanwhile, Meghan's supporters rushed online to fact-check, while critics sharpened their digital pitchforks. And when a grainy 10-second audio clip mysteriously leaked, a voice muffled but confident saying her plan was bigger than Harry, everything ignited. Piers didn't confirm or deny the leak, he just tweeted 3 words. Told you so. From that moment, the game changed. Meghan wasn't just trending, she was cornered. And if she thought staying silent would save her image this time, she was about to learn that online storms don't wait for royal permission. When that mysterious clip finally surfaced, the internet stopped breathing. A low, muffled voice, distorted, filtered, like something ripped from a secret vault, calmly said the words that detonated the calm. She always said her plan was bigger than Harry. It wasn't polished, it wasn't official, but that rough, uncut texture made it feel real.
It makes them newsworthy. So you either then ignore what people are talking about, are debating and having all the silly stuff about the fake bump.
Within minutes, amateur analysts were slowing it down, comparing accents, and debating whether it was a palace insider, a Hollywood ex, or a forgotten friend from Meghan's early days. Every replay seemed to reveal a new clue, a hidden motive, or a hint of recognition. Royal gossip accounts turned the clip into a viral weapon. TikTok synced the quote with red carpet footage. Reddit threads filled with theories claiming the voice belonged to someone who knew too much. Some even claimed it matched an old assistant fired just before the royal wedding. And while Meghan's defenders begged people not to take the bait, the fire was already out of control. The hashtag The Hidden Voice trended worldwide. Every hour, new enhanced versions of the clip appeared online, cleaned up, amplified, dissected. Then came the chilling part. Piers reposted the audio with a cryptic caption, "You're not ready for the next one." That line alone sent fans and foes alike spiraling, because if that was just the first clip, everyone knew the next one could break the internet.
And all right, in the end, I was told but 57,000 people complained to the television regulator, Ofcom, in the UK. A world record, I'm proud to say, complained about me for not believing Princess Pinocchio. And eventually my boss had said, can you just apologise to Meghan Markle, or you're going to have to, maybe lose your job. I went, I'll take the job option, thanks, I'll leave. And I walked off into the sunset.
The moment that clip went viral, Montecito reportedly went into full lockdown mode. According to insider chatter, Meghan wasn't amused. She was furious. The polished calm of the Duchess vanished, replaced by the sharp, PR-hardened strategist who once outmaneuvered tabloids and palace courtiers alike. Sources claimed phones started buzzing before dawn. Crisis teams were activated, and lawyers were looped in faster than you can say damage control. Witnesses say the atmosphere inside her California mansion turned electric. Assistants pacing, consultants whispering, and Meghan herself reportedly demanding to know who could have leaked it. The rumor? She believed it came from someone who'd once been in the circle. That hit harder than the recording itself. By midday, calls were allegedly flying out to major networks, legal advisors, and her longtime media allies. The mission? Shut it down before it snowballed. But by the time statements were drafted, hashtags had already hit millions of views. The internet wasn't waiting for clarifications. It wanted blood, or at least a new headline.
Putting out a twerking, heavily pregnant video with him dancing around like a wooden clown next to her. It's all just embarrassing.
To her critics, this was karma served piping hot. To her supporters, it was a witch hunt reborn. But no matter the angle, one thing was undeniable: Meghan was back in the storm she swore she'd escaped. And the cruel twist? Every attempt to silence the noise only made it louder. Because online, the harder you fight the fire, the faster it spreads. Just when the noise began to settle, Piers Morgan decided peace was overrated. He dropped a second clip, longer, clearer, and far more explosive. This time, the distorted voice didn't just talk about ambition, it made a statement that hit like a royal thunderclap. The goal wasn't to join the royal family, it was to outgrow them. Within minutes, timelines imploded again. Even seasoned royal commentators gasped. This wasn't gossip anymore. It sounded like a manifesto. Piers played it with theatrical precision, smirking on air as he teased more revelations to come. The man knew exactly how to feed the fire without getting burned. Media outlets scrambled for analysis, while royal fans replayed every second like detectives. Was the voice male, female, a producer from Meghan's early interviews? The speculation was endless and addictive.
She's a bully, and her acting career, or whatever she's trying to do, is going to fail, just like everything else she touched fails.
I thought, didn't you think the Dodgers video clip from their living room,
God,
with her waltzing around?
Yes,
yes,
like a hyena.
Literally like a hyena with a spear in its back, wasn't it?
Meanwhile, Meghan's camp stayed silent, their legal team reportedly torn between ignoring and retaliating. For Piers, this was personal vindication, the perfect told-you-so moment he'd been craving since their infamous fallout. He painted himself as the truth-teller, exposing the Duchess's real motives, and viewers ate it up like popcorn. But the real shock wasn't what he aired, it was what he hinted was still locked away. Because as he closed that segment with a knowing grin and the words, "You haven't heard everything yet," the world realized something chilling. This feud wasn't ending anytime soon. As the internet tore itself apart, dissecting every syllable of Piers's bombshell, Buckingham Palace remained completely, almost eerily silent. No statements, no denials, not even a quiet no comment from a royal insider. For an institution famous for its motto, never complain, never explain, this was a masterclass in restraint or strategy.
Never complain and never explain was the late Queen's motto for royal PR. For Harry and Meghan, it's more a case of never reign and never abstain, especially when it comes to nauseating self-publicity, which invariably backfires.
Behind closed doors, royal correspondents whispered that the silence wasn't accidental. The palace had learned long ago that every word fuels the fire, and this fire was aimed squarely at Meghan, not them. Let the public argue, let the headlines churn. The monarchy would simply stand above it, regal and untouchable. But that silence carried weight. Commentators began to suggest it wasn't neutrality, it was approval. Others said it was a quiet signal. We warned you. Meanwhile, tabloids filled the void with speculation about backroom calls and private briefings. Even the late-night talk shows started joking that the Queen's corgis probably knew more than the press. Then came the odd twist. Meghan's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, suddenly went offline. No posts, no comments, nothing. That vacuum sparked new theories. Was he the mystery voice? Was he being protected or pressured? Every unanswered question added a new crack in Meghan's already fragile public image. And through it all, the palace didn't need to lift a finger, because sometimes silence isn't weakness, it's the loudest message of all.
These two will sell anything about their privacy, and yet they'll fight privacy battle after privacy battle. It's total
I don't
hypocrisy.
agree with.
Once the second clip hit the web, the hunt was on. Within hours, thousands of online sleuths turned into self-appointed forensic experts, armed with headphones, software, and way too much caffeine. Reddit threads multiplied like wildfire, each one claiming to have cracked the mystery behind the distorted voice. voice. Some swore it belonged to a palace aide, others insisted it sounded like someone from Meghan's old Hollywood circle. Every frame, every syllable became evidence in a global guessing game. TikTokers slowed the audio to half speed, comparing vocal tones and background noises. A faint clink in the recording sparked theories it was taped in a formal setting, maybe even a press room. YouTube analysts ran it through waveform programs, drawing digital graphs like courtroom exhibits. The obsession was relentless. Meanwhile, mainstream outlets hesitated to touch it, labeling the frenzy public speculation, but that only fueled the hype. Each time someone said, "It's probably fake," 10 more people downloaded it to analyze themselves. The mystery had evolved beyond Meghan or Piers. It was now an internet sport. The craziest part, a few users claimed to find timestamps matching a decade-old interview from Meghan's early acting days. Was it recycled audio? A deep fake? A cover-up? No one could agree. But one thing was certain, this wasn't just a leak anymore. It had become a digital manhunt, and the world wasn't stopping until the voice had a name.
Meghan Markle has gone back to live in California, and she's living the life she probably wanted all along.
Yes.
A life of unparalleled luxury and riches that she got by marrying her handsome British prince.
As the online frenzy spiraled, a darker theory began to creep through the noise. What if Meghan wasn't the mastermind this time, but the target? Some observers suggested the entire hidden interview saga smelled less like exposure and more like orchestration. Who stood to gain from her public unraveling? That question turned the conversation upside down. A few commentators pointed to old industry rivalries, publicists, former associates, even ex-friends with buried grudges. Others speculated about media insiders using Meghan's name as bait for clicks. Every narrative twist made her look either like a cunning strategist or a pawn in a much bigger game. And in today's algorithm-driven world, perception is reality. The whispers grew louder when archived emails and anonymous tips began surfacing, hinting that the leak might have been staged to spark outrage, draw ratings, and distract from other royal controversies. If that's true, Meghan may have been caught in someone else's storyline, one she didn't write and couldn't control. To her critics, the idea sounded like convenient spin, but to her defenders, it fit perfectly. The Duchess once again being dragged by forces desperate to keep her name in the headlines. Either way, the question lingered like smoke after a fire. Was Meghan Markle the architect of her own downfall, or the latest casualty in a media machine built to chew up anyone who dares to outshine the crown? By the time the dust began to settle, the chaos had already reshaped the story. Piers Morgan wasn't backing down. In fact, he was doubling his grin and promising that the real tape hadn't even dropped yet. That single tease reignited everything. The hashtags, the commentary, the endless debates about truth versus performance. The world leaned in, waiting for his next move like it was the season finale of royal reality TV. Meghan's team reportedly tightened ranks. Advisors whispered about tracing leaks, friends claimed she felt betrayed, and insiders hinted that her next legal step might be her boldest yet. Some predicted a lawsuit, others a tell-all interview to reclaim the narrative.
Before you gave up any royal duty, but wanted to have your royal cake and eat it by keeping your title so you could exploit them and make gazillions of dollars in America to the highest bidder. And what do for that money? You trash your family endlessly, and you're going to keep doing it, as does your wife, who trashes her own family, most of whom she's disowned.
But whichever route she chose, one thing was clear. Her every word would now be measured against that haunting audio. Meanwhile, the public's attention fractured. Supporters begged for empathy, while critics demanded confession. Even neutral fans couldn't look away. The hidden interview had become bigger than the feud. It was a cultural storm about fame, ambition, and who controls the story when everyone's recording. And through it all, Piers stood smugly on social media, typing one more taunting line: "If you think that was big, wait until next week." No one knows if he's bluffing or sitting on dynamite. But one thing's certain, the battle between silence and exposure isn't over. It's only waiting for the next tape to drop. And there it is, the circle of fame, power, and perception spinning faster than ever. Meghan Markle's story has become less about what's true and more about what people want to believe. Every silence is treated as guilt, every quote twisted into motive, and every whisper amplified until it becomes the only sound left. Piers Morgan may have thrown the first punch this round, but the real battle isn't between them, it's between image and reality. And in the age of digital judgment, reality rarely wins. Meghan's camp can deny, defend, or disappear, but the world's already written its own script, and the credits haven't rolled yet. If you thought this bombshell was wild, wait until you see what came before it. The scandal that started the internet's obsession, when late-night TV went after Meghan like never before. Trust me, you'll want to see the footage that made even royal loyalists do a double take. Watch that next story right here and see how it all connects, because every frame, every rumor, every leak leads straight back to the same question: who's really controlling the spotlight? This is Star Spotlight, where truth meets tea, and every headline hides a story.